Hey, what's going on, guys? How you doing? I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from Your Black World and the Black Business School. And I'm not going to be on here for too long, but I wanted to come in to have a conversation with you about something that I saw. And to be quite honest with you, it kind of burned me up a little bit. I just had to, really talk about this because I think this is something that is worth discussing. How you doing, Rebecca Monique? Good to see you. I hope you're making big money with tax season. I know that the taxes are being done this week, and I know it's keeping you pretty busy. But I assume that's what great accountants like you live for. Anyway, here's what I wanted to bring up and to discuss. Hit the thumbs up button, by the way, if you just came in, Jambria and Rodney and brother Zabian. How you doing? I had to really talk about this because I think this is something that matters for our people because we've got our people that that are out there that we admire that have achieved quite a bit in their lives. People like Michael Jackson, and I'm gonna tell you what, racism has always bothered me in many senses, but one sense that it really bothers me is they really love to kill our heroes. They really love to find people that you admire, that you think are great and talented at what they do, people that you grew up with, psychologically and otherwise, and they love to just sort of take them down. And really, this is not new. This is not something that just started last year. This is something that's been going on since slavery. Back on the plantation, when they would want to suppress all the slaves, they would find the biggest, strongest slave, and they would kill him in public, or they would beat him in public, or they would rape him in public, or they would emasculate him and humiliate him in public, because when they kill him, they're kind of killing a part of you. They're reminding you of who's in control. They're reminding you that no matter how big and mighty you think somebody's gotten, they ain't never gonna be able to match the white man. They ain't never gonna be able to match the power and the awesomeness of the white man in America. And they do that consistently. The Bill Cosby, economic lynching of Bill Cosby is one example. Where they said we're not just trying to hold somebody accountable and to do the right thing because we're white. We've never done the right thing. White folks as a collective, their decision to do the right thing, honestly, is pretty. It's pretty subjective in general, right? It's like sometimes we're going to do the right thing, but sometimes we're going to let the right thing just kind of slide by. We're not going to pay attention. For example, just today I was talking to Charlemagne the God on text about the case of Albert Wilson. And Albert Wilson, in case you guys don't know about this case, which you really should know about this case, Albert Wilson is a brother, young college student who just got 12 years in prison for allegedly raping a white girl that he never had sex with. Like literally, there was nothing, there was no DNA on her, vaginal area, no seminal fluid, nothing around, nothing where he poked any holes or anything like that, none of that. And it was it literally saliva from on her chest from when they were kissing each other. And he was alone with the girl for 5 minutes. He's alone with the girl for 5 damn minutes. There was no sex, but yet he's going to prison for 12 years for rape. And somehow some white person went to bed tonight because it was an all-white jury. White people were the ones behind all this because black people got sense. Now I'm not saying that white folks are all bad. I'm not trying to do any of that. This is not a racist conversation. If you're white and you have sense, then you're going to agree with me 100%. But, I imagine that anybody in that room, any black person, with any common sense would have said, no, you can't send him to prison because there ain't no evidence. He was with the girl for 5 minutes. They never had sex. And she's saying that she was too drunk to have sex, but she didn't have sex. So how you saying she got raped when she didn't even have sex? That don't even make no sense. That's how crazy that's how illogical and ridiculous the world has gotten. That's what makes me every day. I'm completely convinced that I was born on the wrong planet. I swear to God, I think I should have been born on Jupiter or something because Earth ain't making no damn sense to me. Because they got everything all fucked up. Excuse my French. Sorry to cuss, but this is making me mad. I got to talk about this. Moving forward. All right. So y'all know about the niggatry that Oprah Winfrey was supporting with the whole Michael Jackson documentary, right? The Michael Jackson documentary was coming out, and it was all about some little white boys who somehow just suddenly remember 30 years later that they were molested over and over again, even though on many occasions, over and over again, they had testified that this never happened, even though for many, many years they were screaming Michael Jackson's praises, even though when Michael Jackson died, one of them, Wade Roberson, was writing this really long, like glorifying obituary, talking about how wonderful Michael was and what a great guy he was, even though he went and testified, under oath that Michael never did anything to me, even though the FBI, motherfucking I had investigated the hell out of Michael. You know how the FBI is. The FBI doesn't leave a lot of stones unturned. The FBI, if you know that you are the subject of an FBI investigation, you're probably going to get nervous because you know that the FBI, they check for receipts, right? And so even though the FBI investigated Michael and found nothing, they still did this documentary because white people don't lie. And they did this documentary basically telling you all these terrible things that a dead man did while he was alive. Now, that's disturbing on many, many levels. I mean, it pretty much says that there's no such thing as true and false. In a world of white supremacy, true and false is determined by those who control that system, right? If white folks decide it's going to be true, then it's going to be true. If they decide it's going to be false, it's going to be false. Because think about this. I mean, you're tearing down Michael Jackson after he's dead. He ain't molesting nobody in the cemetery, right? So what's the point? What's the point, right? Because you ain't digging up Elvis's dead body and saying, Elvis, why is it that this woman is saying on video that when she was 14 years old, you drugged her and raped her at the age of 14? Like, ain't no white people talking about that. And that's a clear discrepancy. That just reminds you that their sense of justice and right and wrong in a white supremacist society is solely determined by the color of your skin. When a black person is in their sights, people suddenly get this urge to do the right thing, this urge to pursue justice, this urge to make sure that you pay for your crimes, sir. You, sir, are going to pay for your crimes. But they walk right past massive industrial strength child molestation rings and systems they got in Hollywood, where they got PowerPoints and computer systems documenting all the hundreds of little children they're trying to bring in just so they never run out of children to molest, like maintaining a food supply for child molesters, right? They literally have massive systems of child molestation in Hollywood, and Oprah's walking right past all of that. Oprah and Gail, you're Hollywood insiders. You're about as inside of Hollywood as a person can be. Every star bows to Oprah, but yet Oprah only sees Michael Jackson, but doesn't know nothing about, she don't know nothing. I don't know. I is Oprah, and I don't know nothing about nothing. I just ain't seen nothing. I ain't seen Miss Celie, ain't seen nothing. Shut up, seriously. Like literally, she's doing, America's favorite mammy. That's what she's always been. She's America's favorite mammy. She's an Aunt Jemima character. She's this big, dark, overweight woman that white people love. They look at her. I saw this picture of her. I saw a video of her sitting with like 3 blonde white women, and they're all sitting there and all laughing. And they're like, oh, baby, love you. And it's like, yeah, it's like basically it's 300 years ago. It's like she's the mammy. She's the mammy in the kitchen that raised the little white girls. She's been breastfeeding them babies since they was little, and now they're all big Hollywood stars, and they look at her as a second mom. That's how they see Oprah. Oprah is America's mammy. Let's just be clear about that. But, and the thing is, I think people forgive her for being America's mammy. I never thought Oprah was, you never really see me going in on Oprah that much because I never have much of an issue with Oprah. I was like, she seems to have a decent spirit. She's handling her business. She ain't messing with nobody. So, I'll just let her go do her mammy thing. That's good for her. Good mammy and pays big money, just like being a Kardashian. Mammy and Kardashian, if you look at just kind of like degrading ways to make $1 billion, I'd say mammy and Kardashian are kind of like neck and neck in terms of the most humiliating ways for you to go out here and make $1 billion. But it pays. Being a mammy pays, and being a Kardashian hoe pays. So I guess the only thing better than being a mammy and being a Kardashian hoe is to be a mammy hoe. So if Oprah was a hoe and a mammy, she could probably make 3 times more money than just by being a mammy, right? So anyway, here's the thing. So Oprah decides, for whatever reason, she decides to participate in this Michael Jackson documentary, the one on HBO, Leaving Neverland. That was a risky move for her because, a lot of people had an issue with that documentary, and I was one of those people. I had an issue with it because I have a big issue with the idea of accusing people of things where you have no proof. Maybe I'm crazy, but I like to think that I'm just an American who believes in civil liberties, goddamn it. Maybe that's what's wrong with me. Maybe I believe in justice and fairness and proof. And, before you just destroy a man's reputation, destroy 30, 40 years, 50 years of hard work, maybe instead of destroying this person and asking questions later, you actually get some proof to support your claim. Maybe that makes me insane. I don't know. Tell me if I'm out of my mind by just believing that Americans deserve basic civil liberties. And maybe I'm crazy for believing that, when the civil liberties of Black people are stolen, it shouldn't be stolen by another Black person. Oprah has a lot of power, theoretically. Mammies, she got that good mammy power. Being the powerful mammy that she is, Oprah could have spent her time doing a lot of stuff. There's a lot of things Oprah could have done to go make some more money. A lot of places Oprah could have been to pursue justice. Oprah, for many years, she's been criticized for sitting there with, hanging out with people like Harvey Weinstein for many years, never said a word, even though she knew. I believe in my heart of hearts that she knew what was going on with Weinstein, because everybody knew. I knew about Harvey Weinstein, and I don't have nearly as much Hollywood insight as Oprah. I don't have Hollywood friends. I have a couple of them, but I don't have a bunch of them. I don't really want a lot of Hollywood friends. So if I knew what was going on with Harvey Weinstein before it all blew up, then Oprah knew, right? But Oprah overlooked that. She had no just internal need or desire or urge to pursue justice when she's sitting there giving kisses on the cheek to a man who's out here raping women and doing whatever the hell else Harvey Weinstein was doing. She had no need to pursue justice then. But somehow you have this desire, this urge to do the right thing when it comes to a dead man, a man who ain't gonna hurt nobody, who's in the damn grave. There's something wrong with that. That's like a mental illness. So now, just to dig deeper into the point, hit the thumbs up button, please, if you're watching. Please hit the thumbs up button, and thank you. Let me see here. It looks like somebody, Kevin Russell. Thank you for your donation. I appreciate that. And anybody else who gave a donation, if I missed your name, I apologize for that. I'm just trying to get through this so I don't lose my train of thought here, because when I get mad, 1,000 thoughts fly through my brain at 100 miles an hour, and I try to put them in a single line so that you don't get too much at one time and get confused. But this Leaving Neverland documentary was shady from the jump. It was shady from the jump, not because people didn't think that there was something strange about Michael Jackson. I mean, if you thought Michael was strange, raise your hand. Go ahead and admit that. It's okay to admit that you think Michael was strange. You don't have to believe Michael was innocent to understand what I'm saying. Most of you do, actually. We took a survey in Your Black World. The majority of Black people believe Michael Jackson's innocent. I'm not even telling you to believe that he was completely innocent, because you don't know everything about what another man does with his penis. And I don't think we should claim to know that, right? Nobody knows that. But what you do have the ability to point out is a couple of things. One, there is this concept called innocent till proven guilty. That's very important. If you let go of that, then you pretty much might as well move back to Nazi Germany and let Adolf Hitler run your damn country, because that's what you're going to get. Number two, there is something to be said about selective justice. Selective justice. That's when people will let any crime out here slide, but then when they get around to the Black man, suddenly all the rules get real strict. All of a sudden, it's like, oh no, we got to stop this. Oh no, this is an outrage, right? For example, again, R. Kelly, not a good guy, not a good guy, not a good guy, not a guy that I want to hang out with. I told y'all that I was saying cancel R. Kelly back in 2003. I was never a fan. I didn't understand all these women that were buying his albums. I said, well, that's just something I don't understand, so I'm just not gonna mess with it, right? But here's the thing about R. Kelly. R. Kelly is he's mild compared to what some of these white men have been doing. You got these white men. First of all, Hugh Hefner was the original R. Kelly. Let's just be clear. He learned his game from Hugh Hefner. Not just the blaxploitation movies produced by whites and Jews in Hollywood that spit out all the pimps and the hustlers and all these screwed up people that the young Black men were imitating and thought that was cool. And then also the hip hop music where guys like Snoop in the 90s are saying, we don't love these hoes, and Snoop's walking around with Pimp Magic Don Juan where they're bragging about pimping women. There's a really good song. It's a song by Black Rob. Anybody remember the song? It was like whoa. The da 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 is whoa. Blah 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 is whoa. Anybody remember that song? Tell me if you remember that song. It was called Whoa, right? Well, there was a part in the song where he said something like, I think he said something like all my Chicago players pimping hoes are whoa, right? So it was something like that. So the idea of pimping women, of doing the R. Kelly thing, was something that was popularized through music that was produced and distributed by them. We weren't the ones who were marketing this shit. Black people were like, what? Well, what happened to X Clan? We like X Clan. We want more X Clan on the radio, please. And white people were the ones saying, like, no, we're not gonna give you X Clan. We're gonna give you, this ratchet ass toothless Negro who can't even spell his name. That's what we're gonna feed you on auto repeat. And then black people were like, we want Tribe Called Quest. Can you give us some more of that Tribe Called Quest? No, we're gonna give you party booty music, shoot them up, kill a Negro music. That's what we're going to feed you all day, all night, and we're going to feed it to your children so it screws them up in the next generation. Black people didn't do all this. Black people wanted KRS-One. Black people wanted Public Enemy. Black people wanted more speech from Arrested Development. Black people wanted Tribe Called Quest and Goody Mob and all the music where they actually wanted to teach black people something and elevate our souls. But instead they gave us the pimping hoes, I hate women, I want to kill black people music. They gave that to us. They marketed that stuff. So the same people who run Hollywood are the same people who run the music industry. So all of this stuff that happens in your community, all the garbage that you end up taking out of your community, most of that was created through media. Most of it was created through media. Most people get their heroes through media. That's why I tell you, I just ask you, before you just completely shit all over Bill Cosby's entire legacy, right? You don't have to admit he's a good guy. You don't have to believe he's a good guy because he might have done some bad things. But before you just shit on his entire legacy, just remember that there's a whole lot of lawyers out here that said, I wanted to be a lawyer because I grew up watching Claire Huxtable. Before you just want to act like Bill Cosby never did nothing good for nobody, which is what they want you to believe. That's what they want. That's why they murder your heroes in public to make a point to you. They're murdering you in your subconscious mind. Every time they kill a piece of him, they kill a piece of you. And so before you let them completely murder his legacy and chop his dead body into little pieces and throw it in the garbage disposal, remember that there are a whole lot of people who graduated from HBCUs and that first time they saw an HBCU was on a different world. How many of you, raise your hand, tell me if yes or no. How many of you have at least one friend who will say, I went to an HBCU because I watched a different world? Tell me, anybody in here, did anybody else know black people, one or two or more, who said, I went to an HBCU because I saw HBCUs on a different world? I wanted to go to Hillman. How many black people you know really, truly wanted to go to Hillman and wanted to become Dwayne Wayne? Right. That's because media affects people. It creates realities for people. And black people are heavily influenced by media. All the studies show this. That's how they sell products to you. That's how corporations sell products to you. So going back, reconnecting this back to Oprah. Okay, so Oprah being one of the queens of media, having all this alleged mammy power that white folks have given her because she's loved them so well over the years, and she used to breastfeed these white girls when they were babies. Oprah could have been focusing her energy on anything. She could have been finding justice anywhere. But I need to help you. I need you to help me understand any case where Oprah has taken on white heroes the way she's taken on black heroes. I just need to know. Is there any white person of the caliber of a Michael Jackson that Oprah has just decided, I'm going to take that sucker down? The answer is no. Now, the thing about it that's fascinating is that now Oprah is looking like an idiot. No, sorry, scratch that. Oprah was already looking like an idiot. In fact, she was looking like a complete idiot by co-signing on this HBO bullshit. She looked really stupid even doing that whole After Neverland stuff. People are like, damn, Oprah, we would have forgave you for just sitting back and letting it happen. You can even sit back and do nothing, even though she should be held accountable for that too, right? Why aren't you using your power to actually help your own people? But no, Oprah, not only did she was not okay sitting there watching, but she also wanted to participate. She was like, Massa, hand me the whip. Massa, I'll pull the trigger. I'll help you take some out, Massa, because if I comes in and I helps to kills the niggas, then that'll make it more credible. That'll help you out, Massa. And then it's just so fascinating that all this happens right when her buddy, her close friend, Harvey Weinstein, is on trial for doing God knows what to women. You know, so it really stank from the beginning. So she didn't just look like an idiot. She was already looking like a complete idiot. Now she's looking like an idiot to the fourth power. Like now she's looking like an uber like Omegatron idiot, like super Avengers Endgame type idiot, like the Thanos of idiots right now. Because now she's looking like a complete jackass. Because now the holes are starting to form in the stories of the accusers, and as a result of this, HBO is backing out of the documentary. HBO, before, when they first put that Leaving Neverland stuff out, they were like, oh, it's going to air. This is going to be big. It's going to air every single hour on the hour all the way through September. I mean, they were going to air it like over and over and over again, like damn it every day, to make sure that they could go to Michael Jackson's grave and spit on it and pee on it and step on his face and just destroy any legacy that he might have had left. Like you can't even like his music without thinking about, about somebody molesting little children. That's the programming, right? That was their goal. So it went from that to now HBO is like, oh yeah, we're gonna show it on one time, and then we're gonna move this behind us. We're gonna just quickly move this behind us. Oprah Winfrey, who was tweeting up a storm, had little Twitter fingers about this whole thing, about her exciting interview for after Neverland, whatever it was. She was just really pumped up about this. Like, she was ready to go. She's like, yeah, you get an interview. You get an interview. Like she was ready. Suddenly, all those tweets are gone. They just disappeared. They did a whole Jussie Smollett on your ass. Like everything you thought was happening is not happening now. There's nothing to see here. There's no Michael Jackson interview. There is nothing. There is no After Neverland. What? And Neverland, whenever, what? Never who? What? I never did that. Right? They literally, I think that they are naive enough. If I'm not mistaken, I'm willing to get this. I get this sense that they are naive enough to think that you can erase the internet. And they don't understand maybe that the internet keeps receipts. And that people are watching you. Millions of people are watching you. So you better watch your own ass. So if I went to Oprah's Twitter, right? So I went and I was reading this article, and I was reading it on Hip Hop DX. Hip Hop DX was reporting it. And I started digging, and they were saying that Oprah had deleted all of her tweets about Leaving Neverland and the interview and all that. And I was like, well, let me just double check. So I went down her Twitter, right? So I found Oprah's Twitter. Quite fascinating. She's such a good tweeter. And so I found Oprah's Twitter, right? So let me see. Let me do a search. I'm gonna search for Oprah. All right. So I went down Oprah's Twitter, right? And Oprah, she didn't get to where she is by being bashful about what she's working on. She's pretty big into self-promotion. And so like she puts her own face on the cover of every issue of her magazine, if I'm not mistaken. I think she might have put somebody else on there one time, but for the most part, she puts her own face on the magazines, which is what it is. I mean, I'm not dissing it. It's just, it's what she does. But here's the thing. So if you look here, you look at her Twitter, right? So you see that she's delightful. She's delighted to be partnering with Prince Harry because you get to be seen next to white people. That's got to be a come up. My God, I need more white friends because I could probably make more money that way. And then she's got another one where from the Times of London, the Duke of Sussex has teamed up with Oprah Winfrey to make a documentary series about mental health. Kensington Palace announced today, right? So suddenly her documentary with Prince Harry on mental health is bigger than the documentary that she was working on to destroy Michael Jackson, right? And then she's talking about her book, and she's got video of herself with Gail saying, "I'm getting ready to go on CBS this morning for my book, The Path Made Clear." So suddenly it's like what's that David Copperfield illusion? Like they just kind of distract you and they say, "Oh, look over here, look over here." So now Oprah's trying to get you to look over there so you won't look over at what she was doing with the Michael Jackson stuff. So let's keep going. Let's keep going now. What else? I'm looking for Michael Jackson tweets now. Let's see. This is one of her biggest documentaries or her biggest projects in a while. This is huge. You're destroying the king of pop. I mean, it's like taking down the Beatles, right? So it should be somewhere on your Twitter, right? Okay, so let's see here. Now I see that she's talking about Henry Louis Gates and his PBS documentary. Henry Louis Gates, another funny little Negro. Let's see. Here's another one. It says, "Sitting by my TV waiting to watch this tonight." So something about Henry Louis Gates. And then another one for Rita Wilson, some white woman I never heard of, and she's raving about her new single. Let's keep going. It says, "Hope you enjoy my new book and that's her new book. So she's promoting her book. So let's keep going. We're looking for the Michael Jackson tweet, because biggest project ever, taking down the King of Pop. Got to be on your Twitter somewhere, girl. Got to be. We've gone back 15 days now. We're still going back. We still haven't seen anything that has Michael Jackson in it. Let's see. There's never been a moment quite like this one. We have this unique opportunity to rise to our best selves and how we use our technology. Apple TV Plus launches this fall. See you there. Okay, so she's talking about Apple. Now, this is her with the little girl she used to breastfeed when they were babies. I think one of them is, I forgot her name. She was the lady in that the girl that wore pink that went to Harvard. I forgot what, Legally Blonde or something. And then there's another white woman, and I think Oprah used to be her mammy when she was a child. And then there's another white woman. So they all love her. They think Oprah's wonderful. Look, their buddies are all laughing. This is so great. And then she's there's another image where she's with Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple, and Steven Spielberg. Again, I'm telling you, man, I got to get more white friends. I think that's the key to success. It really must be. If they like you, then that means you're going to get paid. Okay, so here's another one, Oprah with Tim Cook again. And no black people in the videos now. Ain't no black people nowhere. Now she does, I think later on, here we go. Now here's one. Now this is, I thought it was like a white person, but I can see, I looked at more closely and it's not white. Alicia Keys, right? So that's, I mean, so it's not like she doesn't talk to any black people. So there's a picture of her with Alicia Keys. Still no Michael Jackson though. We're looking for the Michael Jackson tweets. We're looking for her tweets about Michael Jackson. Let's see what we got. Here's one where she's congratulating her friend Gail for taking down R. Kelly, because that's what we got to do. We got to get rid of all this toxic masculinity and find as many black men as possible, and to make sure that they are the faces of sexually predatory behavior, because Lord knows, we all know R. Kelly is the only man in history to have ever womanized or done anything inappropriate with women or whatever, right? He's the only one. Like Elvis didn't do it. All your buddy Harvey Weinstein didn't do it. There's not a big pedophile ring in Hollywood that's all around you that you've been knowing about for years. None of that. Just R. Kelly. He's the only one. Let's just focus on him. Nothing else to see anywhere else. Let's keep going. So we've gone back now a whole month. We're on March 6th. She's congratulating Gayle King. Way to go. You castrated that Negro. Good job. That's not what she said, but that sums it up. In tears watching Regina King. Okay, so she's watching Regina King. She's giving her congratulations on her award. So again, she likes some black people. That's okay. And then here's some stuff. She's got some interviews here. So I'm looking and I'm digging and I'm digging and I'm looking for the Michael Jackson tweets, and I see nothing about Michael Jackson anywhere. So apparently what they're saying in the media about Oprah just kind of scrubbing all of these Michael Jackson interviews, documentaries, whatever it is else she's doing to basically profit by destroying a black man in public, all that's gone. All that's been eliminated. And I can only speculate as to why that might be the case, but I can imagine that her decision to eliminate all the Michael Jackson tweets, I wouldn't be surprised if it's linked to this one little fact among many others. Besides all the other facts they ignored, this appears to be one fact that they cannot ignore. So there's a person named Mike Smallcombe, who is a white guy. He seems like a nice dude, and because he did some homework and he got some receipts, and what he found was this. I'll just read it to you so you can kind of get what's going on here. Safechuck, James Safechuck, was one of the men that claimed that Michael Jackson molested me. He was in the documentary, giving all these really disgusting graphic details, like, oh, Michael ripped my butt open, and Michael, stuck a pickle in my ear, and whatever. Like, just all these stories, like, they're just so nasty that, like, even if you believe that Michael did any of these things, which I'm not gonna get mad at you if you believe that. You can believe what you want to believe. Just get this. This is important, right? It's okay to believe what you want to believe. It's about justice. It's not always about exactly what might have happened. I mean, justice can sometimes be a little bit separate from what you think you know. You have to be able to prove things. At least that's the way it's supposed to be. So even if you believe that Michael did these things, that documentary is gross. Alicia was in there. She's a social worker, and we were sitting there. She's watching this documentary. She's insisting on watching it. And I'm like, I got to leave the room because I'm about to throw up. I don't want to hear about a little 8-year-old boy's butthole. Like that I don't. And then they got to talk about it 55,000 times. I get the point. Just stop it. So I didn't want to watch it because it was kind of gross. But anyway, so listen to this. The integrity of Jackson's accusers, James Safechuck and Wade Roberson, was called into question earlier this month after a key component in Safechuck's account of sexual abuse was proved to be impossible. Safechuck claimed Jackson sexually assaulted him from 1988 to 1992, While both under oath and in the documentary interviews, he explained one particular incident happened at the Neverland train station. But the problem is that the Neverland train station was not constructed. They didn't begin construction until 1993. So basically, Mike Smallcomb, doing his detective work, pulls out his receipts, and he shows some pictures on Twitter. And he says, and there was only one actual train station building. Other stations along the line were sheltered platforms. He says the picture below was taken August 25th, 1993. The train station was not there. The train station at the top image was not there. Work on the floral clock had started. The construction of the actual building was approved by Santa Barbara County on September 2nd, 1993. So that's when they approved the construction of the train station, on which this guy says he was molested between 1988 and 1992. Now, again, does that mean that there is no possibility that there was something else to the fact that Michael did, this was documented, he did, end up sleeping in the same bed with children that were not his? No, I'm not here to say that. I don't know if that upsets anybody, but I'm not going to sit here and definitively say that I didn't think that there was something weird about a grown man that wanted to hang out with that many kids. I don't hang out with kids that ain't my own. That's just not. I don't like that. Anybody see that Blackish little skit they did on Blackish where the brothers were getting on the elevator and the little white girl was lost and they left her on the elevator because they said, oh, they out here setting traps. Like that's how brothers feel. Like most brothers are not that comfortable, and I think that's one of Michael Jackson's mistakes. He made the same mistakes as people like Tiger Woods, Bill Cosby, and others, where most brothers just kind of know like we don't want to be around the Beckys like that because we feel vulnerable. We get a little scared. We clutch our purses a little bit because we don't want to be in a situation where somebody's going to decide that they want to pursue justice against the wrong man, because in their minds, eliminating a black man is a good thing for America. It's like hunting. It's like when they would send hunters out into the woods to go kill a certain animal that they want to see the animal disappear. You're not killing the animal so you can eat. You're not killing the animal for any reason other than the fact that we want few of them to exist on this planet. So the black man is like that same animal. The black man is just hunted. The destruction of the black man is considered good for society. When a black man is not around anymore, it makes people happier. So I think that for somebody like Michael Jackson, O.J. Simpson, Tiger Woods, Bill Cosby, Nate, keep going down the list. A lot of these guys just seem to they seem to have gotten to a point where they really believe that if you have enough money, you ain't black no more. And Oprah, people like Oprah are the ones who remind you, even if you have $1 billion, in their mind, you're just $1 billion nigga. And so the idea that Oprah would do all of this and go after Michael and assist in all this, I thought was just kind of treacherous. I think that she could have let somebody else do it if she felt strongly enough about it. We know Oprah's history, we know Oprah's background. She wasn't always treated well by everybody in her life, and my heart goes out for that. But my God, woman, do you really have to go pick up Massa's gun? Let Massa do the killing himself, so at least we know who to blame. Now we got to take you out too. I don't recall ever doing any videos about Oprah where I wasn't saying something favorable, but I've gone from a person who would say good things about Oprah. Even when I would hear people say, oh, she's a sellout, she's this, she's that, I'd be like, oh yeah, you're right, but let's leave her alone. She's doing her thing. But when you're kind of going out of your way to destroy something that black people respect and believe in, I can't have any respect for that, because there's a million things Oprah could have been doing other than digging up Michael Jackson's dead body just so she could execute him again in public. What the hell? I mean, it's crazy to me. So basically they said in this article, they said Oprah also seems to be distancing herself from the documentary. All of her public tweets regarding Leaving Neverland have been removed, and the interviews she conducted have disappeared from her YouTube channel. So if you go to the Oprah Winfrey YouTube channel, please hit the thumbs up button while I do this. Please hit the thumbs up button. The count of 3, everybody hit the thumbs up button. Please share, please subscribe, all that, because we need your support. Because Lord knows they might come kick my ass over this. I actually, believe it or not, years ago, the Oprah Winfrey Network actually approached me about doing a financial show, on their network, and that negotiation lasted about 30 seconds. I think the minute that they found out that I wasn't trying to let go of my whole platform just to be part of Oprah's, I think that kind of killed everything. Because basically, if you join the Oprah Network, their mindset is, well, now you're part of Oprah's clique, so obviously anything that you had going on before Oprah came into your life must be worthless. But I was like, no, actually, I want to build something that's independent and Black, and I'm not letting it go for anything. So that's what kind of killed it. But they did actually approach me. I remember I was going to actually fly out there for a meeting and all this stuff. But I'm glad it didn't happen. And so anyway, I'm looking at her channel, and she's got a lot of stuff. Something about John Gray. Who is John Gray? The Book of John Gray or something? Is that a pastor or something? I think that isn't that a pastor they were talking about? A guy that got busted doing something with a side chick or something. I don't remember, but anyway, I'm looking here and I don't see anything here about Leaving Neverland. So let me see if I can find if I Google search Oprah and Leaving Neverland or Oprah and After Neverland or something like that. Let me see if any of those interviews come up. Let me see here. Oprah Winfrey Neverland interview. Let's see what comes up here. I'm searching on Google. Let's see. I see Oprah Winfrey full interview, Leaving Neverland, Michael Jackson accusers. But this is not on her channel. This is on a different channel. I'm looking here. I see rumor report for the Breakfast. Is that the Breakfast Club? Is that right? Yeah, it says Oprah says Leaving Neverland is much bigger than Michael Jackson. There's another report where Oprah Winfrey says that Leaving Neverland caused a major fan backlash. Yeah, and I don't see anything here. Now, what's it now? Now, of course, the white media, like Entertainment Tonight and stuff like that, they're just basically stating Oprah wants to interview the accusers. And then there's an interview that she had with Michael Jackson. Yeah, so there's literally nothing here showing Oprah's interview, nothing, just not a trace. But I kind of think she needs to be held accountable for this. You know, I think that she, you know, I just really think that Oprah should be ashamed of herself. I think that what Oprah did wasn't just stupid, but it was also a huge betrayal, you know, of somebody that I think was friendly with her. You know, Michael Jackson gave her interviews when he didn't have to, back when he was a bigger star than she was. And I just think it was it showed very little class, a little bit of greed. It definitely showed a commitment to white supremacy. And it's not because you might have thought Michael Jackson was a bad guy or that he did some bad stuff. It's because it's, again, two reasons. One, you know, you got to have proof before you destroy somebody. You may feel in your heart that you know that they did it, but you're supposed to have proof. That's the first thing. The burden of proof is on the accuser, not on the accused. But we got that backward now. We believe that a person who is accused of a crime is supposed to prove that they're innocent. And it's very hard to prove that you're innocent. If I go and I point out Just in Time or Scorpio and I say, you know, you killed somebody and you have to prove that you've never killed anybody, or if I say you're a bad person or you want to sleep with children, and you know, your ability to, how do you prove that that's not something that you'd ever want to do? You know, like, what are you going to do, especially when you're talking to people that already see you as a criminal just because of the color of your skin? It's kind of a really difficult, almost impossible place to be. So that's the first thing. There's no justice here. Michael went through the justice system. Right or wrong? Tell me if I'm right. Michael went through the justice system. Y'all remember that trial? They strung him out there. Anybody remember that Michael Jackson trial? Tell me if you remember that. 1993 to 94, something like that. Right around the time of the OJ trial. Michael was on trial in front of the whole country, and it was a big deal. It was a big mess. And Michael walked away from that. Okay, end of conversation. And then the FBI investigated. I mean, when I heard about the FBI investigation, I said, damn, maybe he really was just a guy that just thought it was fun to have sleepovers with kids. That said something to me, because I was like, man, the FBI they don't just let things slide like that. They usually come get you if you're doing stuff like that. And then you can only believe the words of the individuals that were involved, who spent many, many years saying great things about Michael. And when Michael died, when Michael was no longer a threat, Michael could no longer harm them, one of the guys went out of his way to volunteer to write this glowing obituary of Michael and to talk about how wonderful he was and what he meant to him and how great he was and blah, 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 blah. And then a few years later, when he can't get no money out of Michael's estate, suddenly he's like, oh, I'm a victim. I'm a victim. You know, and I just think that does not help your credibility when you suddenly remember you were a victim after you've been triggered by the fact that they didn't give you the money that you thought you were going to get. So that either means A, you're just pissed off because you didn't get the money, or B, you had agreed in the past to take money in exchange for your silence. I just will say, look, if Tracy White, Samori Swigert, my homeboy, if one of y'all did some horrible shit to me, you know, like let's say Samari came and he kicked me in the balls. And I say, Samari, I'm gonna tell everybody you kicked me in the nuts, man, because you are a violent son of a bitch. And Samari says, no, boys, no, Dr. Woods, I'll pay your mortgage, right? And I'll buy you a new car. Just don't tell nobody I kicked you in the balls. Please don't tell nobody I kicked you. And so I say, okay, all right, okay, man, all right, well, okay, cool, man, no problem. And Samari's paying my mortgage as long as I agreed not to tell anybody he kicked me in the balls. Well, we made a deal. The deal is the deal. Like that's it. Like, so if Samori stops paying me 5 years down the line, and then I come out and I'm like, yeah, let me tell you, Samori's a son of a bitch. He kicked me in the balls. Well, I must confront the fact that my credibility has been significantly diminished by the fact that I was complicit in the crime for so many years, that I had agreed to take money in exchange for whatever the hell it was that he did to me. That me and Samori made an agreement that instead of Samori paying a debt to society for kicking me in the balls, I just said, look, Samori, just pay your debt to me. And the fact that I agreed to the amount, just like in the Bill Cosby thing, the fact that when you agree to the amount that the person's going to pay you, then that means they paid their debt to you. So you can't come back later on and say, oh, no, I was a victim all along. I just lied about it. Because the fact that you've been a liar all this time means that nobody's going to believe that you're not telling the truth just because your conditions have changed. That's what logical people think. That's what smart people understand. Like my homeboy, Dr. Ramon Thomas, I hope you get some of what I'm saying. Ramon, I went to high school with Ramon, smart brother. I hope he understands and follows the logic. I think he gets it because he's smarter than everybody in this room. And the reality is that if you agree to accept compensation in exchange for whatever was done to you, that if you agree to tell lies in exchange for money, and then later on when the money stops and you start saying, no, now I'm really going to tell the truth, people only know you to be a complete, bold-faced, consistent motherfucking liar. That's all they know you to be. So in the court of law, right, in this justice system that we have in this place called America, this very strange place, I told you guys I was born on the wrong planet. I'm convinced of this. In this place called America, the court of law is a place where your testimony and the quality of your testimony is heavily contingent upon your credibility. And your credibility is directly connected to whether or not you're known to be a truth teller or known to be a liar. So if I have been taking money for 20 years in exchange for consistent lies, then I have clearly identified myself as nothing but a big liar. So at that point, when I suddenly decide I want to flip the script and start telling the truth, ain't nobody gonna believe me. So that's my take on it. I think Oprah is a scumbag for participating in any of this. I think Gail, Gail got a big come up off of R. Kelly. I mean, okay, yeah, most people they can benefit and get wealthy by devouring black men in public. The NCAA does it. They eat up all your athletes and they don't pay them, and they make billions of dollars off of your athletes. They make money off your black male prison inmates. They make money off the black kids that you send into these damn shitty public schools. They're making money off black college students that are going and giving their whole life savings and their whole family wealth to big white universities. So this idea of Gail getting this $10 million contract or whatever she got in exchange for the fact that she did such a wonderful job devouring a black man that all the white people were scared to interview, that's just part of a continuous tradition. So because white supremacy works best when you put it in blackface. If you find a Klansman in blackface, that person is like gold. And so ultimately, Oprah and Gail, they ain't nothing but another version of Diamond and Silk, if you ask me. Oprah and Gail and Diamond and Silk are pretty much the same thing. They tap dance for white folks in exchange for money, and that's how they all get paid. So if you ever want to like struggle or go through hell or not have everything you think you deserve, then just keep hanging out with crazy Negroes like me, because I ain't gonna do nothing but mess it up with you. I ain't gonna do nothing but mess up your good nigga sticker. Your good nigga sticker will expire if you're hanging out with people like me. You need to go look at Oprah and Gail and repeat what they're doing, and I guess that's the pathway to getting rich in America. I have no idea. Or you could do other stuff like actually like invest in yourself and buy real estate and build Black Wall Street, which is the pathway that I'm saying that you should take. But that's the harder path. And so I understand why most people don't want to do that. All right. So I'm about to go. Please do me a favor. In the count of three, everybody, could you please hit the thumbs up button if you haven't done it? So I'm gonna count to 3. 1, 2, 3. Please hit the thumbs up button. Please hit the thumbs up button. Also, if you want to get a text notification when I go live, text the word BOYCE, BOYCE, to 31996. Text BOYCE to 31996. If you want to support intelligent Black media, we'd love to have you as a patron. We give you free stuff in exchange for your patronage, like private VIP meetings and all kinds of stuff, access to all kinds of things. So if you're interested in supporting intelligent Black media, please go to intelligentblackpeople.com. That's intelligentblackpeople.com. Please put the URL down there. Somebody type it in so everybody can see it. That's intelligentblackpeople.com. And last but not least, if you want to find books like Powernomics, Black Labor, White Wealth, I have my new book, The New Black Power 3, coming out very, very soon, as well as Black American Money 3, the third part in my sequence of books, but I want you to read other people's books before mine. Read Dr. Claude Anderson's books, read Amos Wilson's books. We've got The Blueprint for Black Power, just books like that. Read the elders before you start reading me. I'm only here because of what they did. So you need to learn about them and see my stuff as the sequel perhaps to that if you think it's even worthy of that. But if you're interested, feel free to go to blackfinancialintelligence.com. That's blackfinancialintelligence.com. That's because I would be giving you nothing if I did not encourage you to educate yourself and to better yourself so we can win these fights against the Oprahs of the world, or the people that just seek to take everything that we build and destroy it. Because once we build Black Wall Street, there'll be an Oprah or a Gale that'll show up to try to burn it down. It won't be a white guy, because their cover is blown. We know what to do when they're coming, but it'll be somebody that looks just like us that's gonna come take us down. Just like Nipsey Hussle didn't get shot down by a white man, Nipsey Hussle got shot down by a brother. And so they always send your so-called ally to take you out, because they know he's got the easiest path to get to you. So that's just what it is. That's the battle we're in, but we're going to win this battle. I truly believe that. So take care, everybody. It's good to see you. Have a good day. And Oprah, you can kiss my black ass. I'll see you guys later. Be good. Peace.